Swadee ka. Thank you for joining us on Newsline. We are broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and on NBT World. It's Friday, June the 19th of 2015, and you're with me, Trahasira Kausan. And welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story, the Ministry of Public Health has announced that Thailand's first case of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, has been confirmed, adding that 59 other people close to the patient have been put under close monitoring. At a press conference, Minister of Public Health, Dr. Ratchata Nawin, disclosed that the patient found with the first case of MERS infection in Thailand is a Middle Eastern man, age 75, who traveled to Thailand from a Middle Eastern country on June 15th. The patient reportedly did not have any fever, but only experienced a cough after arriving at Suvarnabhumi Airport. He later sought medical attention for his heart problem at a private hospital before being suspected of MERS. The patient has been forwarded to Bamratnaradun Infectious Disease Institute, where he is now receiving treatment in a separate quarantine unit. His condition is currently stable. According to the Public Health Minister, samples collected from the patient were subjected to repeat testing, and all the results were positive. A total of 59 people who are related to the man or have come into contact with him have been reached by the Public Health Ministry. Among the individuals are 3 family members who have been invited to receive close attention at the Bamratnaradun Infectious Disease Institute. The others, comprising of passengers and crew members on board the same aircraft, medical staff, and taxi drivers, will be contacted by authorities on a daily basis and asked about their condition. The Public Health Minister also encouraged the public to remain calm as the infected and all suspected persons are being kept in seclusion and the situation is still under control. He suggested everyone to strictly adhere to sanitary practices during this period and refrain from traveling to the Middle East and South Korea, where MERS outbreaks are taking place. And on the phone with us right now is Professor Dr. Prasad Thongcharoen, the virologist and advisor to the Department of Disease Control. Swadee ka, Dr. Prasad.
Swadee ka.
Swadee ka. Now, can you tell us about what MERS is? What is the origin of this virus?
Pardon me?
Can you tell us briefly?
Repeat.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, but slowly, please
Yes.
slower.
Can you tell me about the MERS virus?
Yeah, the MERS virus is a genus of the family coronavirus. Coronavirus can infect the human and animal and could produce many diseases, for example, common cold, cholera, or gastrointestinal infection that cause vomiting and diarrhea. And especially some genus of the coronavirus can cause severe infection like SARS in the past. I think you could remember the SARS disease in
Right.
Hong Kong and in China. The family is closely related together with the SARS virus. That's why we call the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, or MERS, acronym MERS coronavirus, COVID. It can make the people sick with fever, weakness, muscular pain, headache, and finally it can cause the respiratory distress syndrome. That's from pneumonia. That means the virus infects the lung of the patient.
Now, what about the current situation in Thailand now that there's been
the current situation in Thailand? We just have one patient coming in from the British country. This man is 35 years old. He came over here to have a treatment of a heart disease. And probably he infected the MERS-CoV virus from the Middle East before. And it's happening that when he went to a hospital in Bangkok, the doctor recognized that he has a tablet from the Middle East, so he paid attention more on MERS disease also. And then when he did the X-ray, chest X-ray, he could find the pneumonia, and after that he put the patient in the isolation room with negative pressure, and sent the sample to the laboratory at Ramatipuri Hospital at the Department of Disease Medical Sciences and at the laboratory in Philadelphia University. And the final laboratory diagnosis was the MERS-CoV. So the hospital transferred to the National Infectious Disease Institute, that is the Institute of Bamra Naradun at Thonburi yesterday. And the final diagnosis of this patient after investigation in laboratory, the diagnosis was MERS disease, yes.
So there were several testings that were conducted to confirm that he did indeed have the disease. What about the 59 other people that are being monitored right now? Now, I understand that they were in close contact with him.
Yeah, the close contact were the family members accompanying the patient from the country, from the outside country. That's 3 patients. Now, they are under isolation at Bamra Naradun Hospital. And other people, other persons that have some contact, closely or maybe a little bit low risk, are the passengers in the aircraft, the same flight from the country in Middle East, who sit the same row in the plane. And that's the high risk group, and the low risk group are our 2 rows before and 2 rows after the patient. And the crew of that airplane at the time. The other person was a taxi driver who took the patient from the airport to the hospital. In total, it's around 59 persons to be contacted, to be surveillance.
Dr. Prasad, how is the disease spread?
The disease spread through the direct contact with the patient or direct contact with the secretion from coughing, patient coughing, and the drop, the secretion drop spread from them.
Okay. Now, one last question.
Also from the stool of the patient.
One last question before we go. What are the prevention measures, and how can we protect ourselves against the disease?
You mean the general population?
Yeah, the general population.
The general population is not go to the crowded place, And if the patient, if the population they have some respiratory illness, please consult the doctor, the physician, and tell them how you feel and where you have traveled around, for example. And then with the health precaution of the people, that washing the hand with soap 7 times, and when you come, and alternate, you have to protect your secretion from yourself, and also to have the well cooked food, and using the separate utensil on the table. That's general precaution of the people.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Prasad. Thank you very much for talking to us today. And that was Professor Dr. Prasad Tongjaron, the virologist and advisor to the Department of Disease Control, talking to us about the situation of MERS in Thailand. Now, staying with the issue, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has called on the Thai people not to panic over the newly discovered case of MERS in Thailand, affirming the government is doing its best to keep an outbreak at bay. In the wake of the Public Health Ministry's declaration of a foreign traveler from the Middle East as the first MERS patient in Thailand, Deputy Government Spokesperson Major General Sansern Gyakamnud cited Prime Minister Prayut as saying public members should not be overly alarmed by the incident. Instead, the Premier recommended them to stay constantly updated with the news and follow health guidelines given by related agencies for their own safety. The Prime Minister vowed that the government has been stringently monitoring against suspected patients arriving in Thailand and has already laid down a protocol to deal with an emergency situation in an appropriate and effective manner. As stated by Major General Sansern, the infected patient is being quarantined for exclusive treatment, while close surveillance is being applied on every individual who had previously been in close proximity with him. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has declared the government's readiness to organize a biking activity entitled Bike for Mom on the occasion of Her Majesty Queen Sirkit's birthday this year. At Government House, Prime Minister Prayut held a press conference on the Bike for Mom campaign, which will be held jointly with other public and private agencies with a view to demonstrating unity of the Thai people and showing their devotion to Her Majesty the Queen on Her Majesty's 83rd birthday anniversary on August 12th this year. The biking event is scheduled to take place across the country on August 16th from 3 p.m. onwards. In Bangkok, participants will begin cycling from Dusit Palace to the 11th Infantry Regiment King's Guard, totaling a distance of 43 kilometers. Meanwhile, in the provinces, the starting point will be at the Provincial City Hall, and the finish line will be determined by provincial authorities. Prime Minister General Prayut extended his invitation to all Thais to participate in this campaign, which will be open free of charge. He said interested individuals can register during July 1st until the 24th on the website bikeforbomb2015.com, set up by the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. In addition, each registrant will receive a commemorative blue T-shirt along with a pin bearing Her Majesty's royal initials. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha affirmed Thailand's steps forward in the planned roadmap during his visit to Singapore. The Prime Minister's office made known that Singapore-Thailand ties remain strong following the meeting of both leaders. The Premier stressed during his visit that Thailand has now returned to order and stability, and all reforms will be carried out as outlined in the roadmap. General Prayut earlier confirmed that Thailand's elections would be pushed back to September next year to give the government time to prepare a referendum on a controversial draft constitution. The Prime Minister reaffirmed his commitment to tackle human trafficking and illegal fishing in the kingdom, as well as cooperating with other countries on the matter. He noted that aside from Thailand's political situation, the country has attracted foreign investments, continued to remain an attractive tourist destination, and is working towards revamping national economic policy. General Prayut also thanked the government of Singapore for its understanding of the political situation in Thailand. And that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Before we take a quick break, let's take a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
To maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The fifth core value: maintaining preservation of Thai traditions and cultures.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Huh? Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough! We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
Physical connectivity, institutional connectivity, and people-to-people connectivity. The power to turn this region into a strong community. Witness the interconnectivity between the 10 Southeast Asian countries in ASEAN Connect via these channels.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. The Department of Land Transport, or DLT, said a new driver's license is being produced that can be used in the 10 ASEAN nations. Drivers with the new license will be able to drive their cars in ASEAN member states, including Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Brunei, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and Cambodia. An image of a Thai flag is displayed on the front of the card with a 7-color watermark of the DLT emblem in the background. Next to the flag is a symbol that represents the province in which the card was issued. The card also comes complete with a holographic sticker. The department disclosed that there is a unique characteristics of the licenses that prevents forgery. The driver's information will be displayed on the card in both Thai and English with a photo of the driver, the issue and expiration date, and the province of the origin. Elsewhere around the world, a white man arrested on Thursday on suspicions that he killed 9 people at a historic African-American church in South Carolina after sitting with them for an hour of Bible study is being flown back to South Carolina. Video showed a long line of police cars bringing 21-year-old Dylan Roof to Cleveland County Regional Airport in Shelby, North Carolina. He was wearing a black and white striped prison jumpsuit as he was escorted onto the plane. Wednesday's mass shooting set off an intense 14-hour manhunt that ended when Roof was arrested in a traffic stop about 220 miles or 350 kilometers north of Charleston, South Carolina, where the shooting occurred. Wednesday's mass shooting at the almost 200-year-old Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church comes after a year of turmoil and protests over race relations, policing, and criminal justice in the United States. A series of police killings of unarmed black men has sparked a renewed civil rights movement under the Black Lives Matter banner. Eurozone finance ministers left a meeting on Thursday night without an agreement over Greek debt. Greece's future in the bloc and even in the EU has hung in the balance as the leftist government of Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, which swept to power 5 months ago on a platform of resisting austerity, has reached deadlock with its creditors. Many ministers expressed skepticism before and after the talks, but speaking in Berlin, German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that a deal was still possible, and French Finance Minister Michael Sapin also spoke optimistically after the Luxembourg talks. Greek Finance Minister said all political leaders had a responsibility to work on finding a solution. Eurozone leaders will hold an emergency summit on Monday to try to avert a Greek default after bank withdrawals accelerated and government revenue slumped. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just simply type in NNT or check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/newsing. We are going to say goodbye with footage of CCTV footage showing Minion Balloon touring Birmingham Museum at night. I'm Thra Thiragausan. Have a wonderful day. สวัสดีค่ะ